You could definitely tell when a website or something is like vibe coded. Skills are definitely a huge part of my workflow, especially when I'm using Claude Code. But really what it is in the back end is it's just a collection of prompts, especially if you're using a product that is newer or a methodology that's newer that AI hasn't learned about yet. People have made skills for different coding packages and different business methods. So it's kind of like can bring that information in rather than you having to type that and add your own context.
There's so much to learn here with these tools and the daily rate of change on things. I didn't even know that skills existed. Further to that discussion of things changing on like a daily basis in this realm, I've been hearing a lot about skills lately. So I thought maybe we could do an episode where we work and talk about skills and figure out what skills can do as we use tools like Claude or GPT, Codex, how those can be used to refine the work that we're doing.
I mean, skills are definitely a huge part of my workflow, especially when I'm using Claude Code. You could definitely tell when a website or something is like vibe coded. And I really do think using skills. So I guess we should back up. Skills are basically just a prompt for the AI, kind of in like a...
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Can you just tell us like what skills do and what they are?
Yeah, so it's really, I'll show the repository of skills here. Basically, this is kind of the biggest one that people are using. It's called skills.sh, and it's by Vercel. So they kind of manage this ecosystem of skills. But really what it is in the back end is it's just a collection of prompts. So when your Claude Code or your AI runs, it can go, oh, I want the marketing skill. I want the design skill. I want the remotion skill. I want the AI image generation skill. So it can kind of like quickly understand the context, because as we've said before in the show, context is king. And, that's like basically the entire like purpose of using AI is giving it as much context as possible. And the skills are...
So basically it tunes the AI. It tunes your generic, Sonnet 4.6 to be a marketing expert. You like download a skills pack for marketing, and now your Claude Sonnet 4.6 becomes a marketing expert. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
Yeah. So let me show you. This is actually one called marketing-skills.com. And this person made a collection of like 30 different ones for SEO and a bunch of other things. So if we open it up here, I'll actually show you. So you can see here, there's a code base, but it's really a collection of skills. So you can see they have an A/B testing setup. They have ad creative, churn prevention, email sequencing, marketing psychology. Let's just go into the marketing psychology. And then everything lives in an MD file, which is a markdown file. So it's basically a way that the AI can like read formatting. So you can see here, this is the marketing psychology one. And it kind of breaks down like marketing psychology in a prompt. And this is a great way that the AI can kind of understand human psychology. So if you're asking a marketing task, it would like basically find this skill in this collection of skills and use that when it replies.
Basically, the out-of-the-box Claude, for example, is more general intelligence. It doesn't have this level of specificity to its intelligence. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a autocomplete. That's how the AI baseline work. So when you give it something super specific like these prompts before you actually get a reply, it actually will make it a lot more rich in terms of the response. Imagine if you had all of Wikipedia at your disposal and you're asked about marketing psychology. You're not going to know where to start, what terms are important. So this like is a great way to like kind of bring those in one place, and the AI can be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. And also what I think is also cool is like the words themselves in these documents will kind of enrich the response, because it's going to like understand the like concepts about what you're asking for.
Well, let's like download some skill packs and build some stuff and see how it improves the output.
Yeah, I mean, I think a great way to do that will be do something visual. We could do like something design related, because that's what I've been doing a lot. And I've seen a lot of people with landing pages that look AI made. And I think with these design skills that exist, it's a great way to make your web designs look great. Let me give a little preface here. If you're new to skills or it's confusing to you, the one by Vercel called Find Skills is actually super amazing. You can also just copy. I know this is code here, so if you're a coder, you can paste this into your terminal and add this to your computer or your development environment. But you can also just give this to Claude Code, and it'll download it and figure it out. But the find skills skill will actually use this repository of skills and find relevant skills for what you're doing. So if you're making a form on your website, you can just ask it to look at find skills, find relevant skills, and then it will reply.
And do you have to do that every single time you're doing a project in Claude, or if you give Claude the find skills prompt, is it now like tuned to always know where to find skills?
Let's actually install one. It'll always work if you install it correctly, but if you do what I just said there, you'll have to do it every time. And you can see here I'm on my terminal. So on Mac, if you hit Command Space and type in terminal, you'll find this interface, and I'll paste that in. And the beautiful thing about this is it'll go out, grab the skill, and you'll see here in the response. It can detect what I already have installed. So like what coding apps you have installed on your computer. Like for example, I have Cursor, I have Codex, so you can see those things are installed. But it also has Claude. So on the bottom here, you can hit space to pick. I want to give access to this skill to Claude Code. And basically, when you install it this way, your entire Claude instance on your computer is going to have all of these skills installed. And you'll hit enter, and then you can see project or global. We'll want to do global, and that's how you kind of get it installed and everything. And then you'll do symlink, which is kind of like you'll just have one file being the source of truth. This is great if you're updating your skills, kind of just technical. But we'll do copy there, and then we'll install, and it takes about a second. And so you could go through every skill you like doing that, basically.
But the find skills skill from a sort of non-technical guy here, if I install find skills in my Claude, does it now know to like always first on any task, go find the skill that would help me complete the task most efficiently?
So by default, I don't think it'll run kind of the way you're talking about. Like if you say find skills, I don't think it'll do it out of the box. But what you do in Claude Code, so I'm in Claude Code here, all you do is hit /, and then you can see I have all my skills here. So the brainstorming one we just installed is already here. So you just do /find skills. You can hit tab, and then you can say find skills about landing pages. And then we'll give it a minute to reply here.
Find skills, by installing that, it installs the library of skills, and then you still got to like point Claude in the direction of the actual skill.
For this chat, it'll like grab the ones it needs, because it's just going out and getting the markdown basically from those files I talked about. So like you can see here, it found 4 that are good. And you can see it already knows what I have installed here. So basically it can use those skills like in the response if you reference it. I think maybe I was wrong. I think you can actually say, now that I see it, can see my other skills, it must have access to see all my skills. So I'm going to say use all of these skills to make a website about...
You can make it for Nuvera. We can make it for Nuvera. Nuvera, for folks, is a venture fund or venture business that I've started that I'm using to invest in various companies.
Wow, really pitching everybody here, aren't you, Will?
So we're making early stage investments.
Is this right here, Nuvera and New Cap NV? Is that right?
Yep, yeah. That's correct. And it's I would call it a family office venture. Well, yeah, it's not a fund.
Okay.
So I should clarify. It's a family office.
Venture
deploying capital. Yeah. Venture capital business, and we're investing in early stage AI, defense tech, and gov tech businesses.
Awesome. Is there any like color scheme, light or dark, that you want to reference?
I am basically looking to pay homage to the Collaboralink colors. So you can see that right behind me here. Let me bring that close. This was the logo of the company that Andy worked for that I sold, called Collaboralink, and I wanted to like use the same color scheme just to pay homage to Collaboralink.
Awesome. So I should like blue and greens, I guess.
Yep.
Cool. I don't know if there's a specific shade of the colors that you like, but we'll just say that.
Tell it, like, pay homage to Collaboralink, and you could. I'm sure it could find an old website or logo somewhere. Homage is HOMAG.
Okay. We're testing my
homage.
AI.
And just
We're testing my AI skills, not my not my spelling skills. Let's think. Let's get. So I'm gonna write. Let's keep this to a simple 1-page landing page.
You want to give it information about me? Because I'm sure that like the founder and the main guy doing the investing would be relevant.
Yeah, I said it's founded by Raul Pandy. What else should we write here?
Could write former CEO of CollaborLink.
I'm trying to think like maybe more context would be better, but more because what my plan here is we're going to run this once with skills and then one without skills. I think that'd be a good way to see what's actually going to happen here.
One other piece of information that might be interesting is New Vera stands for New Truth. And I view that as like we're entering a new kind of realm here with the advent of AI and technology, and it's sort of a new truth that we can sort of harness, and that's the point of New Vera.
Cool. Let me see. Awesome. I think that I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Actually, let's just try this. What do you think?
I say we let it run and we see what it comes up with.
All right, cool. Let's let it go. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a second chat. It's funny because I probably could have made it make like a system to compare the both, actually,
Or, you know what we didn't do this time, Andy, is we didn't go to one shot.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think having it less detailed might actually help because then we're kind of giving less details. So you can see I actually have like skills installed, like using Firecrawl to actually go to the CollaborLink site. I don't know if those are the correct text colors, but probably going to the brand page I made.
So we said this last time. I mean, the coolest thing about this, when you hit enter on your request, it's sort of like magic that happens in the background. And I think that's part of what I like find so intriguing about using these tools is it just it feels like magic.
It is really insane what happens. It still shocks me to this day, especially like, as you can see here, it even came up with the to-do list for what it's trying to do here.
All right. So you can see here, I just basically took the exact same prompt that Andy put into his Claude Code which has skills, which he has kind of downloaded. And I'm putting the same prompt into my Claude Code, which does not have any skills. So let's see. All right. I'm going to hit enter.
Let's do it. I actually am curious if it used the skills. So on my end here, I'm going to actually do another one where I prompt it specifically to use skills.
Oh, you're going to go back and rerun prompting the specific skills you want it to use?
Exactly. Like ones that I really like.
All right, mine's working. So let's see. Let's go to preview. I'm going to pull up the preview and see that way we could see it. Did you ever play Dungeons and Dragons, Andy?
Like one time for like 30 minutes. I like the concept. How about you?
I played like, a handful of times when I was maybe in like fourth grade, when I was a little kid. But I remember doing this. I remember there was this one thing where it's like you could like upskill your character, right? And so basically you'd kill some other character or whatever, and then like your hit points would go up, or you'd roll the die and you'd get more. I'm butchering this, so any of you nerds out there that actually play D&D, don't beat me up too badly. But like you could upskill, like, and so that's essentially what we're talking about here with Claude is like we're trying to upskill Claude by giving it these skills and helping it level up its hit points.
Yeah, I mean, you're also describing every video game ever, so
yes.
So I'm well aware, and yeah, it's a great like example kind of what we're doing here. So I see what you have here. Some notes. The font for New Vera is very strange. It's like a default serif font, which looks kind of dated. The get in touch, and the investing in the new truth. It is really funny though, because mine had the exact same quote. It says investing in the new truth. The entire thing is almost the exact same. New Vera backs early stage founders. It looks decent though,
So you could see that, it's kind of used basic generic fonts. Like I would never brand my investing venture capital business this way. But that said, like, it kind of has stubbed out a decent first draft.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about skills is like you could run the series of skills after the fact. So like you could have this and then have it install the skills and then do it, if that makes sense.
A new realm of puzzle. I mean, and it's got some clever, it's done a clever job with the copy. Like the copy, I would say is good. I don't want to necessarily call it great, but it's good.
The text, the formatting of the text is very strange and big, if that makes sense. Like there's too much text, there's too much going on, like on that screenshot of really there.
Yeah, and then it kind of closes with the founder, me, and how to connect. How did yours do? Let me close out of my screen. Let's see what yours came up with.
So here's a second one I ran saying what skills to use. And it's funny because what this is actually making me realize is maybe the skills in general, I mean, AI is, putting one foot in front of the other. Maybe it is way better at using something pre-existing. I don't know what you think, but I think this still isn't that great from what I'm seeing.
I don't love it. Yeah, I don't love it. And I think, there's skills, of course, but then there are tools, AI tools that are bespoke and made for pure play web page kind of development, right? Tools like Lovable and things like that. So maybe that's the answer here, is that Claude Code is phenomenal for a lot of things, but I don't know. Do you think that this is one of them?
I mean, for landing pages in general?
Yeah.
I think Claude Code is amazing for web pages. And I don't know how Lovable and all those things work on the back end, but I really do think they're just using these same models with just some prompting put on. So their own set of skills, really. Why we're not that amazed by the results is because what we put in was really lackluster. And even with skills, it's not going to be able to really transfer kind of like the information it needs to make that web page. Like if you record like an hour of what you want to do with Nuvera and then put it into the prompt, it probably would be a lot richer, That being said, I think having context and having kind of a baseline of what you're working with the skills works a little better, at least from my testing. I've had tons of luck with the skills. So that's why I'm kind of surprised how it turned out. That being said, I just asked AI to run more skills over top of the one we just made. So we're going to take a look at that in a second. You can see here, I said, give it another marketing polish with, a couple of these skills here that I have, and take your time. So we're almost ready for that. And we'll take a look at that one and see what it changed.
I think you're right. Like we sort of gave it pretty minimal guidance and information. We shouldn't be surprised then that what comes back is maybe a little lackluster. And
I think a lot of people do that with AI and they get bad results. And that's why, if you just say, write me a blog post about my venture fund or venture capital, then like it won't have all the details of what it actually needs to write. It'll just be kind of fluff and made up. And that's what it's doing here with the design, really, Let me wait till this opens here and we'll take a look at the last little bit. It is interesting what it came up with here to me, because I've been having insane luck with this.
So you've been building websites on Claude Code and you've been having good luck?
Yeah, I've just been having Claude Code, but go over existing websites or existing interfaces and clean things up. So that's maybe why it does better, because it has the full context of what's already there and kind of can compare to the skills, rather than using the skills before it starts. It can't really like get a hang of what's happening.
So you've had Claude Code cleaning up some of your existing websites, basically, and you've like loaded the skill packs that it needs to do a good job with that.
Exactly, like cleaning up like, odd color choices and things like that.
I think what I'm learning here is, AI is incredibly powerful. It needs obviously tuning and guidance, which you can give it using skills. But even with skills and even with tuning and even with guidance, if you don't prompt it and give it appropriate context, appropriate information, it's still not going to necessarily turn out anything amazing, right? Or I mean, it's still amazing, but it's not going to be as good as it could be.
It's the same as any kind of work, this speeds up your process, but if you're not putting in effort, the prompting is the effort. As people have seen in our previous videos, we kind of like put a lot of effort, you going back and forth and figuring out the idea and building at the first step stepping stone, and it's a lot better than kind of what we got here. And I think it's because we did such a minor prompt there. So I bet if we ran this through like one shot and used that like a bigger long prompt, it probably would have done a lot better for the baseline thing. But it doesn't know a lot about your company, so it's kind of like that's another thing on top of it that it's kind of probably struggling with.
It's having to guess too much.
Yeah, it's like it just has to fill in gaps, and if you're not giving it that, it's going to really struggle.
Yeah, but the important thing is, the important thing is this, right? Like, there are ways to take AI and to kind of hypercharge it with skills. And
exactly,
if you do that, you're going to get a better end product, a better end result than you would otherwise.
Exactly. And, especially if you're using a product that is newer or a methodology that's newer that AI hasn't learned about yet, you're going to use skills like people have made skills for like different coding packages and different business methods and things like that. So it's kind of like can bring that information in one easy to do way rather than you having to like type that and add your own context,
There's so much to learn here with these tools and kind of what, the daily rate of change on things. I didn't even know that skills existed. So it's like, and I'm like pretty immersed. And so that's good to know. Like, it's good to know that that's out there and that's a way to improve, the things that I'm working on with AI.
Yeah. And it works with like almost every platform at this point. So it's kind of a no-brainer.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope we taught our viewers about skills.
And how little they actually do.
And how we are not very good at thinking about how to prompt when building a landing page for my venture business. But we'll come back next week. We'll have a much more exciting episode. And thank you for watching.